Right, I wish I could say this wasn't the third time I'm recording this because of my iPhone storage, but it is what it is. Now today we're talking about meditation, and that's why I thought the kalimba tune was necessary. But first, there's a few more things that we need to do. Right, now that that's out of the way, let's discuss meditation. I think that meditation has a certain social stigma about it. If people find out that you meditate, they have ideas that you're some monk-like figure in an orange robe, experiencing inner peace with a clear mind. But that's not what the situation is at all. Maybe that stigma isn't real, or maybe it's just in my head, but I don't know. I've incorporated meditation into my lifestyle for the past 18 months, and in no way have I got near a state like inner peace. In fact, I don't think I've even scratched the surface of how meditation can benefit my life. But I have realised that one, anyone can meditate no matter what excuses you make, and two, anyone can benefit in some way from meditation. Today's video is about one specific lesson that I learned through meditation. And it's a realisation more profound than anything I've learned in school or anything I've learned from any other activity. And that lesson is that we are not our thoughts and emotions. Let me repeat that. We are not our thoughts and emotions. Say it to yourself, because it's important and it could probably improve your life drastically. I'll put this into perspective for you. This is a pen. You should know that already. And I'm an observer of the pen. Right? I can observe the pen. I'm aware that the pen exists. And I can see then, because I'm aware of the pen, that we are two different physical entities. I am not the pen. It's subject-object theory. The pen is an object, and I am the subject. I'm aware of the pen. I'm not the pen. Does that make sense? But the truth is, we already know that we're not pens before we start meditating. If that was the truth we came to, it would be quite silly. But what meditation shows us is that subject-object theory can be applied successfully to our thoughts and emotions. When we sit quietly with ourselves, with no distractions from the outside world, we start to realise that the thoughts that go through our mind and the emotions that we feel, we can actually be aware of. And actually that we're not in control of them. That thoughts just flow through your mind and emotions flow through you, and you don't really have any control of them. I mean, when was the last time you decided to think a certain thing or feel a certain way? To be honest, you don't. Yes, you can choose the actions you take, which then influence the thoughts that you think and then the emotions that you feel. But the thoughts and emotions directly, we cannot control. They're just things that we experience. So, because we can't control a thought arising and emotion occurring, but we can observe them, isn't it the same as the situation with the pen? I can observe my thought. I can be aware of my thought, so I'm not my thought. It's subject-object theory. The objects are the thoughts and the emotions, and I'm the subject. They're not the same thing. And when you come to the realisation that your thoughts and emotions aren't who you are, it can be quite shocking, quite scary, but once you've absorbed it, the question arises of, who am I? And you can think about that for the rest of your life. You could read every religious and philosophical text, you could meditate for 40 hours straight, and I don't think you'd come to a conclusion. And I think it's because we don't know who we are, and we can't really know who we are apart from one way, and that's by living. I think as we live life, we experience things, and as we experience things, we learn who we are more. You know, that's why I think you look at older people, they're more mature, they know who they are more because they've lived life. They've seen how they react to certain things, they've seen how they think, they've seen how they believe, they've seen who they like. They have a bigger picture of who they are. When you're young, you don't know who you are because you haven't lived yet, really. So, not knowing who we are completely, flat out, it's not a scary thing. In fact, it's quite exciting because it gives us some motive to live life and learn who we are through our experiences. But something we do know is that we are an awareness. We are aware of this pen. We are aware that, well, you're hearing my voice. You're aware of that. You're aware that you're watching me filming myself on my own in my room. You are aware that you are sat in a chair or lying on a bed. You are aware that you are in a house, or you're outside, or you're in someone else's house. You are also aware on a similar level of thoughts that go through your mind. It's more difficult because inside your head it's very difficult to detach from it. But meditation allows us to do that. Meditation allows us to see the thoughts in our mind, see the emotions that we feel, and know that they aren't us. So we know that we are the being that is aware of our external sensory input, and aware of our thoughts, and aware of our emotions. In a sense, we are awareness. We are pure consciousness. And as woo-woo as that sounds, and you might not want to absorb that, think back to my original example of the pen. I observe the pen, I'm not the pen. I observe my thoughts and emotions, I'm not my thoughts and emotions. What we are is the observer, the consciousness. And that is a profound thing to realise. This truth can help us handle the complexity and unpredictability of our lives. It means we are not a slave to the thoughts that go through our head and the emotions that we feel. We do not try and control reality to make us think and feel a certain way. We don't avoid certain thoughts or avoid certain feelings because we know they are just integral parts of the human experience. Everything that happens is supposed to happen because we're experiencing it. It's not who we are. The world has no grudges against us. We just feel and think and experience. Helps me deal with anxiety and stress most profoundly because I can see my anxious thoughts and know that I am not them. I can see my stressed thoughts and know that I am not them. I know they are something I'm experiencing, they're temporary and they will always pass. I see that negative thought patterns do not reflect reality. And the only way to do that is to be in the present moment. And one of the only ways to practice being in the present moment is meditation. Because meditation allows us to see we're not our thoughts, see that our thoughts aren't reality, we deal with reality easier. Thoughts and emotions, although they aren't in our control, are an intrinsic aspect of the human experience and something to be appreciated. We can appreciate the bad as much as we appreciate the good, as they are just parts of life. They're just something we experience, they're just ways that we grow. And if you let how you think and how you feel control you by thinking they are what you are, by identifying with your thoughts and emotions, are you really free? It's an important question. And if it's the case that you're not free, then meditation is the gateway to freedom. It's the gateway to actually taking control of your life and not being ran by the thoughts in your head and the emotions in your heart. Knowing this and applying it and improving your life are two completely different things. It's taken me 18 months of meditation to even start thinking about applying it to daily life. It's about constantly reminding myself that what goes through my head and what I feel isn't me. And that takes years and years of work to get to a point where you actually become enlightened, which I think is an imperfect, unrealistic concept anyway. The fact is that life can get the best of us. And it does for me pretty much every single day. I find myself consumed in my thoughts, consumed in my feelings. But as time goes by, there are other moments where something happens to me. I think in a certain way, I feel in a certain way. And there's another voice in there that says, Joel, this is just something you're experiencing. Don't worry about it. It's temporary. Life goes on, man. That's a nice voice to have in your head. It's a nice voice to go about your life listening to. And you can start to just enjoy life. Recognize life as a temporary experience that we have until we die. You notice the little things more because you're not consumed by the thoughts in your head. And that's helpful. I mean, in terms of starting this YouTube channel, I wanted to do this for a long time, but I was nervous, man. I was nervous, and the thoughts that went through my mind are, what would people think? No one would watch my videos, I don't have enough equipment, it's going to be crap. And then one day I sort of thought, they're just thoughts and emotions, Joel, and you're not those things. And the deepest part of you wants to do this, so just do it and don't worry about the consequences. So each day of life that I have a morning meditation session, I train this muscle to realise that I'm the witness and I'm not my thoughts and emotions, and that's a really powerful thing. Each morning, when I close my eyes and listen to my breath, I move one step closer on the journey to psychological and spiritual freedom. Now, if anything in this video I've discussed appeals to you, I encourage you to start meditating. And if you don't know what to do, then I can make a video on meditation techniques and how to stick to the habit. If you want to see that, then just let me know. But now all that's left to say is that I encourage you to join the Be an Anomaly movement by hitting the subscribe button down below. And I hope you have a brilliant rest of your day. And I'll see you next time for more.